So I've been seeing and hearing on Twitter some supporters of Vice President Sara Duterte make the case that we shouldn't be questioning her on why she needs all those funds for the Department of Education, and criticizing her for the lack of transparency in the way she answers these questions, kasi daw she's just following naman the mandate of the president in executing his vision for the country. Now there are two things wrong with that statement. First is there has to be accountability. Yes, ultimately, the president is accountable for the country. The buck stops at the president's office. However, realistically and tactically, we can't expect that the president will be answerable to all questions raised for each of his departments. Kaya nga tayo merong secretaries for the Department of Education, Department of Agriculture, so on and so forth, because we assign accountability to these folks who are appointed by the president to be to be accountable for those departments, to be accountable for the effective use of those budgets, and to be accountable to questions regarding their funding and how their funding was used. And number two, whether VP Sara is acting in the capacity of a vice president or acting in capacity as a DepEd secretary, she's acting in the capacity of a public official. And as a public official, she is answerable to the public. And yes, granted, the public, right, based at least on the election results, the majority of the public don't want to question her in any way, shape, or form. But part of that public are also the dissenting voices, the opposition, those who want to know what's going on with the funding, why she needs all those confidential funds, and why she needs confidential funds for activities that are not related to intelligence gathering and security, so on and so forth. So if you don't want Sara to be answerable to the questions from the public, then you should not have wanted her to become DepEd secretary in the first place, much less vice president of this country.